skiers, it's Bob with SkiEssentials.com. Welcome to our 2024 ski test. Got a Head Core 103W for you today. Great ski. We've always really kind of leaned towards these Core series of skis in terms of being light and very stiff and responsive. Very interesting blend of those attributes. Head has done a great job taking carbon and using that as the powering agent for how well this ski performs. This thing at 103 millimeters underfoot definitely falls more into that wider all mountain category. With these Core series of skis, we start to see a break between 97 and 103, especially in terms of how the ski is shaped and profiled. They do have the same construction, but once you get into this 103 width, you start to see more dramatic taper and rocker, emphasizing more of that soft snow performance. But it is built with a lightweight Karuba wood core blended with poplar. That Karuba is extremely light, really just takes that weight right down. And then that poplar adds a little bit of energy to the mix, so it's a nice blend of those, both of those lighter weight woods. And then we get 2 layers of fiberglass and 2 sheets of carbon. The interesting thing about the carbon, the bottom sheet is below the core, and then the top sheet is on top of the core, and that is curved to match the edge of the ski. So anytime you're taking carbon and curving it or putting it in a 3-dimensional format, you are boosting the stiffness and kind of the reactive properties of that material. That results in an extremely stiff flex. For my money, this is definitely one of the stiffest skis out there in the world today, men's or women's, and it just has an extremely light weight to boot. So this is the 177. This is, I believe, the longest length they make in this 103, and we're at 1,694 grams. So very light, especially given the performance that you get out of it. Very interesting blend of attributes here on this ski. And, we start to see that rocker kind of come to fruition here in this 103. Still have some nice positive camber underfoot. When a ski is this stiff, you don't want to have too much positive camber because then it's just going to be overly poppy. So they do a nice job of kind of mixing the camber with the rocker. But definitely have that nice kind of more dramatic splay in the tips here, and that goes along with that spoony shovel shape. Kind of looking at that taper, early taper, and then kind of a flatter spot in this zone here, probably about 10 centimeters worth of kind of relatively flat shape here in the shovel. And that's going to give this forebody of the ski a really good capacity to stay on top of the snow and not sink. So that's why this wider portion of the ski and the shovel exists. And then that tapered portion allows for just easier entry into the turn. So, width appropriate, and like I said, once we hit this 103, it gets a little bit more dramatic. And then similar in the tail, not quite as much of a flat spot here in the back, but the widest part is brought down quite a bit. So that just kind of shortens the effective edge and makes the ski more maneuverable. And then a nice round shape there. And then, nothing crazy in terms of rocker back here, but it is there. And certainly helps in releasing the ski. Again, this thing's pretty stiff, so if it was flatter than this, it would be kind of grabby in softer snow. But since they put this bend into the back of the ski, that just makes it a little bit easier to maneuver in that soft snow. 16.5 meter turn radius, that's kind of what you get when you shorten that effective edge with the taper. Actually makes this ski really fun to turn. It's a great groomer ski. In terms of these, mid-100s skis that kind of blur between all mountain and freeride, this is one of the better turners out there. That short radius combined with that stiff flex. If you have the power to get this thing up on edge and carve a clean turn, it has a tremendous amount of grip and energy. And that's what you're getting from that dual carbon laminate. But yeah, awesome ski. Certainly more in that advanced to expert range, at least in terms of being able to access the entirety of the performance. An intermediate or a less skilled skier will still have a lot of fun because it's so light and maneuverable, but they'll be better off operating it at more shallow edge angles versus a more aggressive or powerful expert skier that can really harness kind of those edge angles and get this thing up on a better edge. But yeah, make sure you check this thing out here at SkiEssentials.com, and we'll see you out there on the hill. Bye.